evening and welcome to the 541st episode of Travel It's Radio. I'm Dan Schlossberg. Roger Noriega is not with us tonight, but we are in the 13th season of Travel It's Radio, the show that lets you enjoy the pleasures of travel from the comfort of your armchair. Every week at this time, we talk to people representing destinations, hotels, airlines, railroads, car rental companies, and others in the world of travel and hospitalities, from author and blogger to broadcasters and publicists. If it's got anything to do with travel, it's got everything to do with Travel It's Radio. We have two guests tonight, Rob Knipe, chairman of GeoCultura, and Lisa Mclean of LeBoat. Welcome to you both from Travel It's Radio. And Rob, let's start with you. First of all, thanks for staying up late to call in from London. Please tell our audience what GeoCultura is, what it does, and how and why you created it.
Yeah, many thanks for inviting me on this evening. Very much appreciated. Yes, GeoCultura is a tour operator. We take people on guided tours to outstanding landscapes, and we want to take them beyond the view, back in time to explain the origin of the landscapes, the stories of continental wandering, continental collision that created the rocks, and then how these have influenced the culture and the history of these wonderful places. So we created GeoCultura because we wanted to share the passion and insight of expert guides and great communicators that have researched these areas. And we wanted to do it in a way that looked after the travelers, allowed them to experience local food in good quality hotels. So we considered this a gap in the market, and a recent review in Forbes agreed.
Well, I like that because I write for Forbes.com as a baseball writer, so I'm part of the Forbes family too. So what would you say is the foundation stone of GeoCultura tours, and when, how, and why did you get started? What did you do previously?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, well, the foundation stone of GeoCultura tours is really to create an atmosphere where visiting a landscape is going to take people on a journey from what they can see back through human and cultural history of the area and all the way back into deep time of Earth history, and to be able to read the landscape. And I'm sure you know, the immensity of geological time is always mixed with that sobering, short, yet immensely influential time humans and recorded history have been around. So we started actually just before the pandemic, 2019. We were incorporated 2020. Not a great time to start a travel company, but we've built a reputation for customer care and great experiences.
We just celebrated St. Patrick's Day, as you know, and I know that you are launching new Ireland tours this year. So tell us how much time and effort is spent on geology, given your scientific background, as opposed to the more typical history, folklore, and of course, Irish pubs.
Yes, our island tours, like all of them, are a real mix. The geology enhances and underpins the understanding of the dramatic landscapes that are present. So we've got a mixture of, we have a local history guide, and we also have a geology expert. And our history guide there is a qualified Irish guide brought up with the history. So it's a mix of the landscapes, the rocks, the history, the culture, the food, the pubs, the music.
Is it safe to assume that you need an open mind more than a scientific background to appreciate such tours?
It's, yes, definitely the case. That's our tours are really for the curious people, and not necessarily those with a science training. You know, all our leaders are hugely experienced in successful communication to groups of all levels, and not just those with a large science experience. So our fundamental aim is to be able to tell the stories of the Earth, the culture and the history of the regions which anybody is interested in. So I'll just emphasize a few things. We're small, we take small groups, perhaps 12, and that means there's plenty of time for one-to-one conversations, and we can ensure that everybody in the group gets the message about these fascinating stories. We also get behind the scenes with museums because of the contacts we've got, so we get to see some exhibits that are being prepared, some new discoveries. We've got some examples of that we can talk about later. And we don't rush through the itinerary either. There's ample time for us to observe and absorb the stories of the region.
We're talking GeoCultura tours with Chairman Rob Knipe. Rob, we're a bit curious about the activity level and, of course, the anxiety level. There seems to be a fair bit of walking, but are there also more strenuous hikes?
It's a mix on our tours, and it depends on the group, and we try to adjust to the people that are booked onto the tours. So usually our walks are not more than 3 or 4 kilometers, sometimes shorter. Occasionally there's a few longer ones, but there's always alternatives. For those not wanting to go, then we'll fix up something so that they've something interesting to do, or views to look at, things to do.
Can you give our audience an example of the scientific component of a couple of your tours?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So, for example, in Ireland, the stories are linking the layers of rocks that we see in pretty astounding cliffs there to the amazing journey that the rocks themselves have been on. These were formed as sands and muds millions of years ago in ancient landscapes, actually near the equator in terms of these parts of Ireland. They've been buried for kilometers, pressed into hard rock, then slowly brought back up to the surface and eroded by the sea. And then they've been used by the local builders. So the rock journeys created the properties that help build some of the local pubs, cathedrals, church, etc. Another example actually is we're retracing Darwin's training across North Wales. So Charles Darwin, before he went on the Beagle boat ride, he was taught geology and science through North Wales, the Snowdonia National Park. So we retrace that, and we basically recreate some of the introduction to geology that Charles Darwin had himself.
Where do you find your tour guides, and do they all have at least a little scientific background?
Yes, our guides are a mixture of geoscientists and local historic and cultural guides. And so part of those have come from the network that we know. Geology is a relatively small world, so we know people around the world in each of the locations with dramatic landscapes that we choose to visit. And there's always local historians and cultural experts that we can bring in to help with that as well.
Is it fair to say, Rob, that you believe travel is not just about seeing new places, but about creating lasting memories?
Indeed, memories are crucial, and seeing new places from a new perspective beyond just looking at the landscapes or the scenes. Our clients have said, for example, once we've told them some of the history and the origin of the landscape, that's an oh my God moment. And we're teaching them, helping them to just understand and read the landscapes and the rocks. There's a link into deep time to the present. And so lasting memories are absolutely key. Yeah, so we want our travelers to join us on a travel experience that transcends the ordinary, where every destination becomes a doorway to enriching cultural encounters. And we hope to refine travel, so one unforgettable experience at a time.
Some tours have too much packed into their itineraries and make participants feel rushed or even overwhelmed. But that's not the case with GeoCultura, is it?
No, we have small groups, as I said, perhaps 12, and that allows time for discussion with the leaders. And we also, where we can, we introduce local people, local experts to join our experts and take them on some of the areas that they're particularly interested in or know about. For example, when we go to Utah, we've got a Navajo guide that takes us into the Monument Valley. In other words, we're linked in with the Native American history there, which blends in with those amazingly colorful landscapes in Utah. When we go to the Pyrenees, then we're linked in with the food and the wine. And we also tell people how the mountain range there, the Pyrenees, were formed 50 million years by a collision between the Iberian and the Eurasian areas. And there's also salt in the Pyrenees. And an interesting link here is that salt was a commodity in ancient times. So the origin of the salt helped the culture and the economy, and even helped promote and inspire some of the architecture. That even the cathedral in Barcelona that Gaudi built was inspired by some natural salt formations that we'll go and have a look at.
We're talking GeoCultura tours with Chairman Rob Knipe. Are your tour groups limited in size or by age? And how long are your typical tours? And do you have a high and low season? In fact, do you run your tours year round?
Yeah, no, we have no age restrictions really. People can see what's involved and they can take part. Our tours are usually around 6 days or so. In terms of seasons, we tend to have more tours in spring and autumn. Some places are a bit hot to go to in the middle of the summer, so we avoid that. But on the other hand, we do tours in July and August. We've got a tour to the Scilly Isles, southwest of the UK here, which deals with shipwrecks, geology, wildlife, and stays in a very historical hotel as well.
With all the Jurassic Park movies, is it true that your tour to the Scottish Isle of Skye will actually explore life during the Jurassic dinosaur age?
Yes, that's true. Yeah, Skye does have rocks where the dinosaurs roamed, so we visit those. A couple of other trips we do for dinosaur age things as well. We go to the Jurassic coast in the south of England, and we actually link in there with a recent BBC film you may have seen. David Attenborough was on a program called The Giant Sea Monster, which was a 150 million year old pliosaur. And that's a really interesting example where the fossil was halfway up a cliff. All the local community were involved in extracting it. And we actually go to the museum now, which holds that fossil, which the BBC program was about. And we also meet some of the people that were involved in that excavation and retrieving that particular fossil. One more, Alberta. We go to Alberta. We've got a short tour there in June and another one in July. And we visit there the Royal Tyrrell Museum, and that's Dinosaur Provincial Park as well. So a number of places where we go to look at Jurassic Park things.
Rob, do you want GeoCultura tour patrons to feel they're both spectators and participants in the evolution of a place and its people?
Indeed, that's absolutely right. That's our goal. And that's, as you travel with GeoCultura, you're not just a spectator, you're an active participant, in the rich narratives and diverse cultures in remarkable landscapes. So we really want travelers to discover the world with a company that values authenticity of adventure as much as they do.
Rob, you're a professor at the School of Earth and Environment at Leeds University and founder, CEO, and chairman of Rock Deformation Research Limited, a structural geology business. You've written papers, you've won awards. So the obvious question is, do your tour participants need at least a rudimentary knowledge of geology?
No, I don't think so. All our guides are used to communicating the science, the geology to everyone. So it's not just an interest in geology that we need. We just need an interest in landscapes, history, in other words, the origin of the planet that we live on. So we like to say, if you bring your interest, we'll nurture it and feed it. And it actually, it's not just Earth. We have an Arizona trip later this year, which does some stargazing in the Arizona Sky Center. And we also visit some wineries there as well. So a mix on the planet and looking off the planet as well.
Just a couple of more quick questions. First of all, do you have anything you would like to add that I haven't asked you?
No, I think you've covered most of them. I think the main thing for us is to highlight that these tours are different, as the Forbes review said, and we're just trying to bring in new aspects to landscape travel so that we can understand the history, the culture of each of those places.
That sounds great. How do our viewers learn more about GeoCultura tours?
Yeah, the website, just search for GeoCultura Tours and we will appear. Or if you search for Forbes GeoCultura, I think that one was something like Adventure Meets Science on a GeoCultura Tour. So that would find us.
That'll be great. Thank you so much, Rob Knipe, the chairman of GeoCultura Tours. Sounds
Many
terrific.
thanks. Yeah,
I'd
many
love
thanks.
to join you.
Yep. Thank you.
Okay, Lisa, get ready because right after this little station break, we're coming to you. You are tuned to Travel It Radio now in our 13th season with Dan Schlossberg and Roger Noriega, who's not with us tonight. Check us out on iTunes, LinkedIn, Instagram, or the Travel It Radio Facebook page, among other places. And thank you, Rob, for telling us about GeoCultura. Now let's switch gears and take to the water. Lisa Mclean, tell us about LeBoat and what it offers. Lisa? Hello, Earth to Lisa. Are you muted? You may be muted, Lisa. Ah, I see you are muted. Okay. Unmute Mike. I'm trying to do that. Okay, Lisa, you're on. Lisa? Hello, Lisa. Earth to Lisa. We lost you. I see what happened. You're not here anymore. Okay, if you can get back in, that would be great. I will put you on as soon as you come back. Waiting to see Lisa Mclean of LeBoat. Here are some of the pictures of LeBoat. Lisa, are you there? Okay, I'll show some more other pictures of LeBoat while we're waiting for Lisa to rejoin us. Here's LeBoat, LeBoat sunset. Looks really nice. Here's the LeBoat castle. Looks terrific. Lisa, we don't see you, but hopefully you'll come back. Here's another one. Canal du Midi. Well, I love houseboats and have enjoyed houseboat vacations on Lake Powell, on the Utah-Arizona border, also on the St. Johns River in Florida. But LeBoat is international, mostly European, with Canada closest to home for Americans. So how many destinations do you have, Lisa, and what's the range of available boats? And are they all luxurious houseboats, or are there some budget and comfort boats as well? I think we're having mechanical issues because I don't see Lisa here. I hope she, there we go. I'm going to give it, she's back. Lisa, hi, can you hear me now? Hello, Lisa.
Hi, sorry, I'm here.
Right. Oh, good. Okay. Tell us about the boat really quickly. Do you need a license to rent one of your boats? And is there a minimum stay? And is there a training session required before an inexperienced captain sets sail?
Yeah, so LeBoat's been around for more than 50 years in Europe. So we offer self-drive houseboats, which means you're the captain and you drive it yourself. So you don't need a boat license. We teach you everything you need to know to drive the boat, and we teach everything your crew needs to know in order to tie a dock line and help with the ropes through the locks. So it's very, very easy to drive. All of our boats are modern luxury houseboats. Many of them come equipped with a bow and stern thruster. So when you are turning a boat around or when you're entering the lock or trying to park, you just push the bow and stern thruster, and it makes it super easy because it literally pushes the boat sideways and helps you maneuver the boat very, very easily. So no boating experience or prior boating experience required.
Is this you?
Yes, it's me.
Okay.
So
Just
it makes it
wondering.
very, very simple to drive.
You can drive with your feet, right?
So no, I wouldn't recommend driving with your feet, but you can pose for Instagram photos, that's for sure.
Okay. How many destinations do you have, and what is the range of available boats? And are they all luxurious houseboats, or do you
So
have some other ones, budget comfort boats too?
So our top selling destination is France. We do 9 different cruising regions in France, including the UNESCO World Heritage, Canal du Midi, the Burgundy wine region, the River Lot, the Aquitaine, Brittany, and the Camargue. We also have boat rental vacations in the UK, Ireland, Scotland, Belgium, Germany, Italy, and Amsterdam. And then, new since 2018, we've expanded LeBoat into the North America market, and we're now available on 2 different canals in Canada. So we have the Rideau Canal, which is about an hour from our capital city of Ottawa. And then we also have a new base on the Trent Severn Waterway, which is near Peterborough and only about an hour and a half from Toronto. So we do offer a wide range of boats for rent. In Europe, we have budget, comfort, comfort plus in premier boats. Because we've been around for more than 50 years, we do have some boats that are probably 10 to 15 years old. So those would be in our comfort or our comfort plus category. So they're much cheaper to rent than our premier boats, but they're still very, very well equipped. They're very well maintained. A couple years ago, we went through a refurbishment of some of our top sellers in our fleet. So whether you're renting a premier boat or renting a budget comfort or comfort plus boat, you'll still have a fantastic experience. And in Canada, because we're brand new, we only have our luxury Horizon cruisers. So they're custom built for the Canadian waterways. And we have boats that are less than a year old. So those are our Horizon Plus models. So all of our boats also come in a wide range of sizes. So sleeping from 2 people all the way up to 12 people. So we have a 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom, 4 bedroom, and 5 bedroom boat. And one of the great things about renting a houseboat is it comes with everything you need. So fully equipped kitchen, top deck barbecue, all the towels, linens that you need for your trip. So basically, you just have to bring your food, some summer cocktails, and your clothing, and you're all set for the week.
Would you describe LeBoat as providing a barge adventure or a relaxing houseboat vacation?
I would say it's a relaxing houseboat vacation, but it is spectacular to cruise yourself through the Burgundy wine region, parking and mooring next to a medieval castle or an 18th century vineyard. So you just kind of moor your boat, hop off, and you're in the center of town. So it is a very, very relaxing experience. You're not on a power boat. All of the canals are speed regulated to a maximum of 10 kilometers an hour. So it's just a really easy pace, relaxing, stress free environment. You get to know the other boaters. They give you great cruising tips, tell you their secret spots where they like to moor, what's their favorite restaurants. So it's a real community feel when you're boating on the waterways, both in Europe as well as in Canada.
What is the capacity of your boats? I know you mentioned that a second ago. Is there a minimum or maximum age?
So the minimum number of people that can go on a boat is 2 people, and we don't have an age limit. So we do recommend that if you're bringing small children, they probably be 6 and up. But we do have people who bring smaller children if they've grown up on boats. We have seen a huge increase in multi-generation families traveling with LeBoats. So people traveling with their grandparents, their grandchildren, and then their 30 something children. So, and our number one travel demographic is two retired couples traveling together. So they'll enjoy probably 1 or 2 weeks on the canal. But if you are just doing a short break or want to add on a boat to an existing holiday in France or Ireland, or even if you're coming to Canada, you can enjoy it just for a short break, which is 3, 4, 5, or 6 nights.
How long have you been doing this and when did you get started?
So LeBoat's been around for over 55 years. So they started off in France and they expanded slowly across Europe. And now they're the number one provider of boat rental vacations in Europe. And we're now becoming the leader in boat rental vacations in Canada as well.
Oh, terrific. We're talking with Lisa Mclean about LeBoat. Does LeBoat operate at all destinations all year? I know Canada has some pretty frigid waters.
No, our Canadian cruising grounds open on May 17th, which is our Victoria Day long weekend, and usually closes on Canadian Thanksgiving, which this year is October 11th. Europe, because they don't have such severe winters as Canadians do, they actually open on St. Patrick's Day in Ireland, so they open as early as March 15th and they go all the way to the end of October. So the south of
Wow.
France has beautiful weather and have a much longer cruising season than us. So you could easily hop on a boat in Canada in September and enjoy our spectacular fall weather, and then hop on an airplane and still have time to go see the south of France.
Speaking of weather, what do your amateur captains do when the skies become unfriendly, especially in wind or lightning?
So we actually have a weather forecast that is available to our guests every day. So we do encourage them to watch the weather forecast. But because you're on an inland waterway, it's not like cruising on a wide open ocean. So you are on a much smaller canal, and there's always an opportunity to kind of pull over, especially in Europe, and just park until the weather passes. In Canada, too, if the weather is going to be rough, we recommend staying put for the day and just enjoying life on board and enjoying time on the boat. But it is it's not, if people are nervous about being seasick, you're not on the open waters and the open oceans. So like I said, you're just on the inland waterways, you're on very, very calm rivers, um, and smaller lakes. So there's no risk of huge waves. And even if you are on a little bit of a windy day, our boats are very stable and very wide, and actually work very, very well in windy conditions.
Are there peak and bargain seasons for LeBoat?
Like most summer holidays, peak is July and August. Um, and we consider shoulder season the beginning of the season up until June 15th. And then after September 10th to the end of the season, that becomes also a shoulder season. If anyone is looking for a deal, if you are willing to travel during the week or midweek, we usually have better rates if you depart on a Monday or a Wednesday versus a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, because weekends are also considered. One is looking for a special rate from March 25th to April 7th. We do have our spring flash sale happening right now where you can save up to 30%. But if you do miss the flash sale, you can always visit our website and go to our special offers tab and see what offers we have in the marketplace.
Lisa, where are your boats docked and how do passengers get there?
So all of our boats do include mooring fees and lock passes. For cruising in Europe, we do have multiple bases, so you can choose a one-way cruise or a return to your original base. With your travel documents, we do provide sample itineraries, and we will tell you how long it takes to cruise from point A to point B in day one, or point B to C. So we will give you suggested overnight mooring spots. We will tell you how far it is to cruise. We also produce a fantastic regional guidebook on each of the canals that we travel to, highlighting where's the best spots to overnight moor on the canal, what are the top restaurants, what are the top attractions for kids, what historical sites you'll see each day. So you can really use our guidebooks to help you plan your trip, or you can ask any of our expert sales team when you're booking your vacation what canal they think is best for you based on your interest, your likes, and if you want a jam-packed itinerary with lots of cities and lots of adventure, or you're looking for a more quieter, relaxed country setting. So we'll provide you with sample itineraries and help you plan the perfect trip for you and your group.
How do Travel It's Radio viewers find out more about LeBoat?
They can give us a call at 1-800-734-5491, or they can visit our website at www.leboat.com.
Is there anything you'd like to add, Lisa?
I just think a houseboating experience is a great way to discover the region. So I would say it's very much similar to an RV experience, but you get to eat, sleep, and live on board, plan your own itinerary, set your own agenda, and discover the region by the waterways versus the highways.
That's great. Our guest tonight has been Lisa Mclean of LeBoat. Thank you for being on Travel It's Radio with us.
Okay, well, thank you so much for having me.
And now that baseball season is just a week away, this is the perfect time to place an advance order with Amazon for my new book, Home Run King, The Remarkable Record of Hank Aaron. Dusty Baker wrote the foreword. That's Home Run King, The Remarkable Record of Hank Aaron. That's it for this edition of Travel It's Radio. Now, this is Dan Schlossberg speaking also for the absent Roger Noriega, saying thank you for your time this time until next time. Next week, same time, same place, we'll talk to Gary Hahn of the National Comedy Center. No joke. For now, good night and stay safe. And we're going to try to get that closing music to work. We never have good luck with it, but we're going to give it a shot here. So just bear with me. Never know. There we go. Let's see what we get. Hold on. As I said, you never know. Still trying. Anyway, as I said, that's it. Couldn't get the music to play again, but did try. That's it for Travel It's Radio for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and see you next week.